Can you hear me? I have no idea if anyone can hear me. Okay, well, hi everybody. This is Liv. See, we're just trying to figure out why she's muted. Uh, the wonders of modern technology. Yeah, I can't hear you, dude. Ah. Okay, hang on a second, folks. C is going to exit the stage and re-enter. I am not the voice you want to be hearing right now, but we will be having C shortly, and we're going to be talking about a lot of fun things, including Homo Techno, which we are so excited to tell you guys about. In the meantime, sorry, I'm just looking at the text chat. C's having to dial in from her phone right now, which is not cooperating. Do you guys want to put the song back on so people don't have to just hear me breathing awkwardly into the mic?
Are you ready to die? Got my Shinigami eyes on. Everything is fine. Got my Shinigami eyes. Are you ready to die? Got my Shinigami eyes on. Everything is fine. Got my Shinigami eyes on you.
Okay, we are trying again. Can you guys hear me? Type if you can hear me. Say hi, Liv, if you can hear me. Yes. Okay, you can hear me. Good. But yeah, she thinks her Discord might be having some issues still. I wish I had things to tell you all about that is relevant to this, but I can't until she's here. Tell us about my day. What's my day been? I have not left the house. I'm here in the UK. Did record a podcast earlier talking about aliens and man, what else? We covered all kinds of stuff. Cancel culture, aliens, and so on. Probably the kind of topics we're going to talk about today, hopefully. Who am I, Liv? My name is Liv Boeree. I'm a friend of C's. And I used to be a professional poker player, and now I am I make YouTube videos about like weird science stuff. And I take photos of C. A lot of the photos you've seen of C recently, I took, which is a random side hobby that I've been getting into. She's the easiest person in the world to take photos of. So it's been a fun new thing. She just randomly she breaks cameras as well. I hope she doesn't mind me saying this, but like my camera, if I point it at her, it goes weird. But anyone else, it doesn't do that too. So she has some weird like I don't know. There's like some weird energy coming off her or something. It's really cool. Uh, Questions. Liv, Gibson or Asimov? Gibson the guitar and Asimov the book, the author? It's a good question. Probably Asimov. Asimov's the best. Do I still play poker? No, I don't. I've now retired officially. And I tried playing against recently and I sucked. So good job. I no longer play. Yep, C does break cameras. You know, like when you go to show, like if you take on a big digital camera and then you go and look at the screen to play back the photo, if I pointed it at C's face, it would just shut off. It was really strange. It was like it knew, like it will shut off if you put your eye to the lens, up to the viewfinder, but it doesn't. But with her, for some reason, like her face could be 3 feet away, and it would think that there was something looking at it. It was really weird. Let's see some other questions. Where did I meet C? I met C in LA at a friend's house, and our brains exploded when we met each other, got talking about AI and the future, and just became buddies. Let me see what other questions. What's C's favorite color? Great question. I have no idea. I would guess, what is C's favorite color? Probably, it might be black, honestly, even though she's the most colorful person. Let's see. Ask me more questions. Is Grimes going to talk? Hopefully, I really, really hope so. This is not meant to be the Liv show. That's for damn sure. She's doing her best. She's just figuring out how to get it working. What's my favorite Grimes song? Great question. I think she's going to hate me saying this, but it's the original We Appreciate Power. It just, like, that song blows my mind. It's so, it's just so deeply powerful, and the lyrics are so brilliant. And her and Hannah are just, like, obviously the perfect, sexy, weird, creepy girl band that would want to will the AI overlord into existence. What other questions we got? Am I a physicist? I'm not a practicing physicist, but I studied astrophysics. And I try and remember it when I can. I tried actually doing some math that I learned from it, you know, because don't judge me, but I'm 36, so it's been a long time since I was at university. And man, you forget that stuff. It's rough. I tried to integrate something, couldn't do it anymore. That's not an interesting question. Let's find more. Interesting one. Do I make music? I used to play guitar a lot. I was deeply obsessed with metal, specifically melodic death metal. Children of Bodom, my favorite band at the time. So I used to play a lot of guitar, but I didn't really create music. That's actually one of the things I loved meeting about C. You know, with C, I'd always been scared to just like lose myself in the zone of just like trying to flow and make music. So I'd always like learn to play, like try and copy guitar solos, but never create them myself. And she's like showing me that like how to do that. It's really cool. What is my favorite thing to do with Grimes? Give her shit. Like right now, that she's just left me here floating in the talking to my laptop by myself. She just messaged saying, Liv, I'm so sorry. Can you hear me, see? Say yes if you can hear me. Type it. Oh my God. Dude, it's fine. We're holding down the fort here. She says, it just won't let me because I break everything. Type me something to say to the folks waiting for you. Give me some fun fact. What's our favorite thing to do together? She says, hey guys, I fucked up again. Well, actually, she said, hey guys, I fucked up a hane, because C is the worst text typer I've ever seen in my life. Like, I have to sort of assign an additional like 20% of brain power just to decipher every single text she writes, because somehow she doesn't have predictive text or something. Yeah. She says, we like to worry about about the simulation gods trolling us. And she says, yeah, which is true. Like, they're clearly trolling us right now. And yes, her predictive text is broken because technology hates her. Funny you say that, see, that technology hates you, because what are we? We're talking about Homo Techno. Oh my God, she said Homo Techno cancelled. Brutal. Man. No, we can't. This may be a sign. Maybe we shouldn't do Homo Techno. Shit. Um, what fictional AI is our favorite? Live and see. Well, I can answer this for myself. My favorite fictional AI. I literally got a crush on this AI. This is how good it is. It's the AI in Surface Detail by um, Ian Banks, which is part of the Culture series. It's basically like this incredible world in the far future where it's like humans, well, it's like kind of this like pan-human species, but they kind of live symbiotically with uh, super intelligent AI powered ships, and the ships have personalities and are like their own consciousnesses and have like the same rights as humans. And they're so smart. And what I love about this book is that he successfully like paints the picture to you of what a super intelligence is like, and it's just so brilliant and smart and sexy and funny. And I got a crush on this AI, so that's my favorite one. It's a ship called Beyond the Normal Moral Constraints. Um, Liv, what's your YouTube channel? It's just my name, Liv Boeree, Boeree. What's oh yes, Children of Bodom fans in the Discord chat. Love it. I love that people still know who they are, because it's so sad Alexi died. Very, very, very sad. C text sexy AI. She has a crush too. Does she still like spaghetti? C, do you still like spaghetti? This is like some weird. I'm like your translator. It's like text to speech. I'm your text to speech AI. That's literally what I am. This is what my life has been reduced to. I think she still likes spaghetti. I mean, who doesn't? Fortunately, her food intake has expanded to healthier things. Very pleased to say. She's actually a better cook than I am, and that is saying something. I am like she is not a great cook. I'll be honest, but I am. But she knows how to do it better than I can. More questions? Fire them at me. Get to the bottom. Do I eat plant-based or considered? I describe myself as a reducetarian. So if I could, I would eat just no meat and be pure plant-based, just because I hate inflicting suffering on animals. But that said, in practicality, it's just too hard to do. And I instead just try and do this like middle ground where when I can eat plant-based, I do. And when I don't have a choice, I'll just try and eat as ethically sourced meat as I can. And to be honest, like even if everybody on Earth just went one plant-based day a week, so like say everyone on Earth went plant-based on Mondays, that would be the equivalent of 1 billion people going vegan. More than, in fact, which would be huge. Like that would literally just make, just take a chunk of the animal suffering and all the damage from eating meat away. So consider it. You don't have to go, it's not an all or nothing thing. If you just reduce a little bit and just like have just a few meals a week, even if you're an ardent meat eater, just have a few meals a week without meat, that will make a big difference too. So there's always elegant solutions to these things. Liv, would you rather fight 100 duck-sized horses or 10 horse-sized ducks? Oof. I mean, it's got to be the 100 duck-sized horses, because like 10 horse-sized ducks, they're going to massively outweigh me. I feel like one's going to just sit on me, the others can then peck me to death, and like I'm screwed. Oh shit. Oh, what's C saying now? Okay, she's still on the internet. Good job, C. But lost all audio now. Can't even hear Liv. Gonna close Discord and come back. Like it's shocking what technology does with C, or what C does to technology. It's unclear who does what to who, but there's like this weird sort of it is like there is something else going on. It's very strange how often it goes wrong with her. Let's see. Do either of you code? I wish I coded. I don't know. It's one of those things that, like in another life, I feel like I could have learned to do. Do not. Liv, if you could jump like you were on the moon, what would you do with that power? I would Probably get bored of it after a while, to be honest. It's just one of those things that will be a novelty for like a week, and maybe you enter a few high jump competitions and do well. But then you're just like, now I'm a freak, and like the whole world will lose their minds. Everyone will start like following you and filming you, like, oh, there's the girl that can jump really high. We don't understand it. And like people would want to study you, and it'll just get annoying. So it's actually probably one of those things that you'd wish you didn't have. You know, it's the trouble. Once the cat gets out the bag, can't put it back in. My my favorite podcasts. 80,000 hours. Particularly you folks. I imagine a lot of you are like interested in helping the world as much as possible. And the 80,000 hours podcast is literally aimed at young people who are smart and dedicated
can't, like,
to.
that.
Oh my God, is that a C?
If he's not going to have like a heart attack now.
See, you're C. We can hear you.
Oh, you can
See?
hear me? Okay, sorry. I was
We can hear you.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm at my friend's surgery, so I was like, "Hey guys, thank you so much, sir, doctor." I'm just thanking the doctor who did this surgery, not on me. I'm fine and not been cut open.
It might be. It
Hey,
might
everybody.
even be you.
Okay, that was the most literal, hectic thing that ever happened. I'm like running through a hospital. Thanks, Liv, for being alone on my Discord server for like 15 minutes. I don't know.
Fortunately, your fans are like the nicest people in the world, and were just feeding me the most interesting questions.
Well,
Honestly,
I do think they're being moderated, so I think they can't say mean things.
So it's like I'm only saying that like the nicest, the 10% of comments that are actually reasonable, and there's 90% going, who, what is this?
We're like, wow, these people are so nice.
Fine, just let me live in my let me live in my delusion. So
actually, no, they are really nice. I'm not taking back Liv's compliment. You guys are really nice, and if you weren't
nice.
we just wouldn't know. We just wouldn't know if you weren't.
This is great.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm like still like in shock from like, and then I was like running through the hospital without a mask, trying to get the internet, and people were like, "Put on a mask," and now I'm like the anti-masker in the hospital for accidentally not wearing a mask. Like literally, I'm just like canceled in the hospital, and like just God, that was so.
You're one of the most pro-mask people as well. You're just very good at this stuff normally. So that's yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
What do you want to talk about?
I really wanted to. Part of the reason I wanted to do this is, well, first of all, I personally, I can't speak for Liv, but I'm switching to Discord because it's just much less toxic. Actually, maybe that's not true, but in general, it's better social media. I have PTSD from the other ones. Yeah, I think we're kind of like starting a show. It's very in its infancy, so we don't want to like commit to too much, or we're starting a concept called Homo Techno, which is like, we think Homo sapiens aren't sapiens anymore. We think we've, integrated with technology enough where we might be a new species. And so we just as friends are deeply interested in all things Homo Techno, and all the ways humans could potentially become even more Homo Techno. So yeah, we just like ideating on potential futures, and especially ways that the futures could be better, and especially using technology. I don't know. I feel like I could say it better, Liv. You probably have. I
think that's a good summary.
You're from England.
I don't know about
that. They teach you grammar in England.
I have the air of being well spoken. It's nice. This accent does get me a long way. Yeah, no, I think
you sound so official. It's insane.
Right. I mean, I can turn it on when I need to. It's weird, but yeah, no, I think you hit the nail on the head. Like Homo Techno it's what we all are. Well, except for you, see, clearly with the technology. But
yeah, clearly I'm stuck back in Sapiens. I'm not allowed to graduate.
But you want to be you want to be. You're like the most dedicated to Homo Techno. That's the thing. You're like truly you just love it. And yeah, I mean, what we want to do really is we're going to be starting a podcast is the plan, and where we're going to be talking to as interesting guests as we can find, who largely are interested in the topics of sort of the future and technology, but also are focused on some of the many issues that we have right now, which there's plenty going on in the world. And I think more broadly, we want to try and open the Overton window. Like, that's, anyone who's not familiar with that term, it's like basically the list of topics that people can actually speak freely about, because in order to solve a lot of these difficult problems, we have to be able to sort of think outside the box and entertain ideas that might like initially sound shocking or even offensive, and we want to be able to like have respectful but open and authentic dialogue. So that's, to me, what like the ethos of Homo Techno is going to be about.
Yeah, and I also feel like the room to like ideate and fail, or the room to sort of like, just like, what about this? What about this? Okay, terrible idea, but like at least we're kind of like going there. You know, yeah, I don't know, like I forget what I was saying. Oh my god, I got nervous. Oh, public speaking. Liv, say something.
Say something. I'm gonna say, tell us about. Well,
No, but
okay,
like for example, for example, I feel like or like I could say one of the things we were talking yesterday. Oh, I interrupted you, which we made a pact to not interrupt each other. So I
No,
also
it's
just
fine.
failed.
No,
Oh, you just
you
did
really
it.
didn't. Just keep speaking.
Okay, I'll just keep speaking. Uh, but oh no. Okay, now I got nervous because I got put on the spot again. Oh, don't. Now they shouldn't let me do this. They shouldn't let me do this.
Totally fine. What I wanted
uh,
to ask, like, what has been on your mind lately? Like,
what has been?
what's the thing that you find yourself like when you go to sleep at night, aside of listening to endless history podcasts, which is fascinating, and we should talk about that as well. Like, what's a sort of thing that you just find ruminating on the most?
I mean, you're really putting me on the spot, and I'm actually going to look at our list of topics. Just not.
Well, one of the things is like the I know I've been thinking about, and I think you are too, is just sort of like the psychological impact that it's having on, not only on like actual celebrities when like people start going after them and canceling for them for like little slip ups they've made and so on, but more specifically for like the just like particularly young people who are fans of those of a celebrity, or and who are trying to like will go out to try to defend them, and then they get attacked, and just like going online and seeing this like really hostile environment, right?
Oh
Like,
yeah.
what
Okay.
what's been going on
Yeah.
with Billie Eilish, for example?
Yeah, like getting my brain back in the game. Yeah, I mean, what I think one of the topics Liv and I love is like the idea of humane technology, or the idea of like, you look at social media right now, and I would say there's probably negative psychological effects for people. And like one of the things we were talking about, like, because I got canceled last week or whatever, although canceled is not the wrong word, because like I'm still here, so it's not like I'm actually canceled, but you know what I mean, whatever, like some controversy or
You just
whatever.
got put through the ringer.
I got put through the ringer or whatever. Which is, I'm the architect of my own demise or whatever there. But like, it just sort of reminded us of like the kind of like, or even better example, Billie Eilish. Like I'm like watching Billie Eilish get in trouble, and like, I don't know, like just like makes me feel like shit. And it's like it just makes me sad, and I'm just like, oh, I don't want to see Billie Eilish get like people talk shit about Billie Eilish. And it's like, she's like literally, I feel like you should be immune at least until you're like 23 or 24 anyway, because you can get like permanent emotional scarring, like, but I think
Yeah, I think. Sorry, go on.
like or just like what, like one of the things I keep thinking about when I sort of like witness the kind of like policing on the internet is like the effects it actually has on the people either doing the policing or the people observing it. Like, it's like watching your parents fight. Like if you're constantly exposed to like even someone else being criticized, like like that's like just a negative thing to see. Like you wouldn't uh, like if you lived in a family where like someone was just shitting on someone else all the time, like in your like nuclear family, like that would be like a toxic situation, and it would be like there would be a lot of negative psychological effects from that. And so it's like, I notice with like especially some of the younger people I know, but kind of everyone I know is like there's this sort of like ambient stress or anxiety like related to the environment out there, and like the degree to which it's like things can get so toxic so fast, even if warranted, which is like what one of the things that I think is like interesting. It's like, you know, like how do you sort of like find that middle ground, or whatever. But yeah, I
I
don't know.
think
In the end,
one of the things I've noticed on certainly on Twitter, which is where I spend most of my time, is that when someone says something, the default reaction that people seem to have is the worst possible. Their first thing to do is to go, okay, blah 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 said this. What's the worst possible interpretation of this? And then running with that. Because so often when someone says something, there's multiple ways to interpret it, and it's almost like people have adopted this very warlike mentality of being like, how do I find what's the weakest point in this argument, and I'm going to attack that, and not actually think about, well, you can try and, when someone makes a statement, you can try and think of all the things that will support that statement, or you can try to think of all the things that could break it down. And it seems like everyone is just determined to break stuff down. And I wonder if there's like a way we can create a movement of like good faith interpretation of things as like a default. Because when we're in person, because I think it's partly to do with like the anonymousness of social media. Like everyone's just a line of, it's just a few lines of text with like a little avatar. Whereas like, when you're speaking face to face with someone, even someone you don't necessarily agree with, it's just much harder to like look them in the eyes and sort of take the least charitable explanation of whatever it is they're saying. But for some reason, technology and social media like remove that human element and make people, we just go after. It's just much easier to be combative, and I wonder how we get past that.
yeah, no, I was thinking about that too. It's like like when you're in front of someone and you're face to face with someone, like you're not going to be like, like you suck, because it's like you have the immediate response of seeing someone like feel hurt and like
Mm-hmm.
like their emotional response. Like it's hard to be mean to people in real life, you know.
Yeah.
And like I even know like on my fake account, like it's private so people can't see all the shit I talk, but like, I just talk shit on there all the time. But I would like I would never
You're
actually
not
say any of that
mean.
stuff to other
No,
people.
but
Sometimes
also, but
I mean, but they can't tell. They don't know I'm bullying them because it's private. So
well,
it's
to
just
be
me and
fair,
like
like you're really,
it's
I
just
mean, you're more just like you're
me
super
screaming
random
stupid.
and yeah. But the thing is that you're like one of the least mean people I've ever met. You truly are. And even then, like your default, even when you're like on your shit posting account, your default is more that you're just being funny and very, very strange, as opposed to like actually being mean. But at the same time, you're using it as a means to vent, but
Yes.
to a
Well,
very
I
limited
know.
audience.
Yeah.
And certainly, you're not venting in a way that anyone who could ever be hurt by it would see it, and that's the difference. Um,
Yes. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Um. Yeah. Like, and I wouldn't want them to see it. Because it's. But I feel like it's really easy, like on the internet, for things to feel abstracted and like to the humanity to be totally removed. Um, and
right.
also just nuance and stuff gets lost, and also just information gets confusing. Like it's like, you know, like I would say like it's very easy to sort of like stretch something out of context. Like remember even that time you and me were talking, I think about this podcast, and we were texting and you were like, stop getting mad at me, and I was like, I'm literally not mad, I'm literally trying. And we like got on FaceTime and we were like, you were like, oh, I thought you were being passive aggressive, and I was like, oh yeah, I thought you were being passive aggressive, but it was just because we were doing
Right.
it over text.
Yeah.
And then it
There's some kind of information loss, like we're just not getting the nuance and like the little facial expressions and the so on that you would normally get in dialogue.
or it's like if I text, hey, can you call me please, period, and we've been speaking like it's like, hey, can you call me please, versus like if I'm just
Right.
like, oh yeah, hey, can you call me please, like, but it's just like you could have that same sentence with a totally different context or meaning or whatever. um
So I wonder if there's like a way, like if we were to redesign, say, a platform, you know, like Twitter. I mean, I don't know what the environment's like here on Discord. I imagine it's actually a lot nicer. But like if we were to redesign something, is it how would we add like some kind of reminder that that's a human being behind that bar of text that you're replying to, behind that avatar. Could it be not necessarily a picture? I mean, I think probably having a picture of someone's real face helps, but I don't think that's quite enough. Just like some
Yeah.
kind of prompt that just like reminds us, hey, this is a person who has had, suffering and happiness and like hopes and dreams and so on. I don't know if like there's like a hashtag or something, like
I
I'm
wonder. I mean,
hashtag I'm a person or something. I don't know.
Liv. Actually, maybe that's good. That's just like, oh.
Sorry, I've had a glass of wine. I've been a lot the last half an hour, just to be clear.
I'm a person. It's just so like that's just definitely like the nonprofit like doing their branding.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. No, I'm bullying you right now. I'm bullying Liv on the internet.
Oh, it's fine. I love it. I do.
I mean, another thought I had was like, my stepmom is really into this thing that she really wanted to implement in schools in Vancouver that she was calling humane education. I don't know, maybe I don't know if she invented this or if this is someone else's idea. I'm not an expert. And like at the time, this was like 10 years ago. So it was more like about like factoring in like environmental science and stuff into like a high school curriculum. Like it was just like, factoring in like sort of like aspects of modernity, like things that are, like just so everyone's thinking about whatever, like the demise of the whales and the carbon situation, like in the high school curriculum. But like, I feel like you could integrate, like, I mean, if I was on the school board, I would definitely be integrating like mental health practices with social media that include both how to like personally deal with your own psychological response to social media, but also how to like, like you could do case studies on I think people don't, unless you've been through the situation where you've like been canceled, like I don't think people quite understand the psychological impact. Like the human brain is not like built to have like widespread social like like being like a social, widespread social rejection,
being a
from,
pariah,
like thousands and thousands of people, like constantly over days, and like especially if your job is online and involves social media, it's like in order to do your job you have to go through this incredible level of abuse, and like it's like any response only makes it worse, and it actually can get like deeply overwhelming and like traumatizing to people. And like just like I think like going through some case studies of like what that actually does to the person on the other side, I think would probably like prevent people from, like, I used to be way angrier until like I got canceled or whatever. Like I used to be like, oh yeah, fuck that person, blah blah, and then I started realizing, okay, well, first of all, the thing that everyone's saying about them, very good chance it's not even true, because like the only thing worse than getting canceled is getting canceled for something you didn't do.
I could personally attest that way more than half the stuff that you get given shit for is like 100% false. It's insane.
Yes. Yes,
it's absurd. I'm like, wait, what? You like what is she supposed to be doing? Like, this is bizarre. We should actually do some point we should do an episode where we like on the podcast where we just go through like all the things that you've supposedly done wrong and clear up whether or not they actually happened.
Yes, and then I could also then apologize for all the things I did actually do wrong.
Right, because I mean, of course, there'll be some
there's
things
less
that
of
have,
those.
like it's like everyone has done stuff wrong in their lives. Like obviously, it's part of living a life.
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be a funny thing to do. But yeah, but I mean, but just more generally, like I just imagine, like my heart goes out for people who are like going through high school now. Like I mean, I remember when I went to high school, we only, this is how old I am. We only just had, like, I didn't even get a cell phone till I was 16,
yeah, I have a cell phone.
15.
One girl had a laptop and like she typed so loud, and it was like the singular typing person in the class.
Oh my
like
God.
it was just like clickety clack, like just this one girl, like,
what a hero.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like, I like, if someone was getting bullied in school, at least when they went home, they got some respite. They got like a break from it where they were being, they wouldn't have to like mentally deal with that noise. But like for someone now, if they're getting a hard time at school and then they go home, like it's there like in their hands being fed at them still, and it's just like I just can't imagine what that does to somebody. High school's hard enough as it is. Being a teenager sucks. It's just really difficult, and then you've got to deal with that as well. So man, it's like it's rough. It's really really rough. Like yeah, well actually yeah, one thing I wanted to ask you about, speaking of like kids and stuff, what's motherhood like? Do you mind talking about that?
Oh yeah. No. I mean, to an extent, just because I like, I'm in this constant debate, but like sort of trying to keep baby have his, his privacy. Which is hard because there's different family people. People post pictures, whatever, this and that. But like trying to de-celebritize him, so can try to speak in the abstract without
Yeah, I mean,
mentioning.
don't necessarily talk about X, but just like what it's like for you as like having, like, did you notice like a profound shift in your brain, like in how you think about things? I'm curious.
Yeah, no, I actually, so at first it's really interesting because at first it was like fucked, like the worst. Like I was like, what have I done? Like really hard. But I also think like there's a lot of stuff people don't talk about. Like for example, like I think like I hear now people are calling it the fourth trimester or whatever, but it's like the after you have the baby, like your hormones are crashing, all this crazy shit is going on. Like you're not sleep if you're breastfeeding, you're not sleeping, and it's like no one kind of warns you for this like super rough time, like right after the fact or whatever. So that was really rough, but now it's actually really good. And although it is one thing I've done is take on the workload as if I didn't have a baby, which I'm gonna have to figure this out over the next whatever 12 months, like how to handle this, because I definitely right now, I mean, you've seen me, I'm like well, like on the edge of sanity a bit, just because it's like so much stuff and then you want to like make sure you see them
So
enough.
much to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
um and but also, I mean, I'm very lucky that I work from home, so it's like um I don't know, it's like pretty, like he'll sit and like chill like while I'm doing stuff, although it's always, and then you turn away for 1 second and then he grabs the computer off the table and throws it on the floor or whatever. But it's kind of endearing, although it is going to break eventually. um
Speaking of technologically able people, he is unreal with
oh yeah,
technology.
he's sick. Not to
He,
I like, we're not going to talk about X, but he's so sick.
sorry,
He fucking records music. I mean, it's not good music, but he does actually know how to record it.
he did make a loop. I
Yeah.
think by just random chance, but he did. It was very cute.
Mm, but yeah, no, he's no, well, he knows how to like turn things on and off and stuff. But maybe all babies do. I don't know like what the
Right.
situation is.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Like I've seen my nephews and nieces. They just, there's something about a cell phone. That like if you should hand it to them, they are, these are
Oh
babies
yeah.
who, kids are just normally, you hand them something and they're not normally that interested for that long. Then they're looking for the next thing and so on. There's something about a cell phone when it's on that is just captivating to them, and
I mean,
I think it
it's how
goes
much I know.
beyond. Right. It goes beyond just like they, yes, because obviously kids mimic what they see their parents and, other adults do. But I think it's not just, I'm pretty sure that if you took a baby that has never seen an adult stare at a cell phone and handed them the cell phone, they'd still get sucked into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, although I do notice lights and buttons in general, like there is just the human eye is drawn to light, and the human eye is especially drawn to like, I think like blue light and stuff. So
Hmm.
um you know but again, like getting back into the humane tech thing, like I know some of the proposals people are saying is that like we should make the phones less addictive, like think about all the less time we would spend on social media and stuff if all of this wasn't so addictive, even down to like on my iPhone, like the blue text, it's like, it's primed to keep my brain awake and like looking at it. Like if the background was like a magenta or something, it would be like a less, you know, a color that's not going to like make my brain think it's a blue sky outside and it's daytime and like wake up. And, like
Yeah.
there's all these sort of like little aspects of even just the pure design of the phone that like would be really beneficial to everyone to change.
Oh, speaking of which,
But
sorry, what's your favorite color? Someone asked that earlier and I actually really curious to know.
well, it's fluid. So at the moment, it's, 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 fluctuating. It's kind of usually stays between pink and red, but I think I'm pivoting back to pink.
Okay.
Yeah, what's your favorite color?
It used to be very much red, like deep, like the
Love
color of
red.
blood.
Yeah, I
Obvious.
love
Well,
red.
yeah. I think it was while I
Like
was sort of
brown
in my
red?
still my. No, no,
Like
like
new
vibrant
blood.
red.
New blood. Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
but now it's green.
Oh,
I switched from. I
wow, it's a
switched from
massive.
like. Yeah, right. It's
That's
because I came sort of a. It's my Earth motherness.
we
That I
degoth.
know you.
We both Liv and I have both degoth over the last 12 to 24 months. There's a intense process if you've been.
Well, I de-gothed long ago. I was full goth when I was like 18 to 25, and then I don't know what happened. I got into EDM. You still there?
Oh yeah, EDM degoths you hard. Although EDM is still goth adjacent.
Really?
But
Why?
yeah, sorry. Huh?
How
Like
is
yeah,
it goth adjacent?
a lot of the core EDM people, like you look at Skrillex, like he was in an emo band. I was actually talking to Cascade last night, and he was like, "Yeah, I actually grew up emo." Like a lot of the like emo scene, like kind of goth people, like when they came of age, are like a lot of the people who kind of like started or are like I don't know, like
I lost you. See? Oh, dude.
hello. Oh, sorry.
Oh, you're cutting out.
People keep. God damn it! People just keep calling me. So and then when they call me, next time we shouldn't do this on my phone.
Yeah,
Yeah. Next time we'll
we
just
could do it
not do this
again.
on. Yeah, I mean, we should just do it better when we do the podcast. Like, we actually have shot an episode of the podcast, and we have like an organized talking points and lots of facts, and it's actually really it's good when you have an organized situation. It's a bit more functional. But also
Yeah.
the ghost in the machine just haunted my phone earlier today. There was no explanation
They
of why.
really, really. I was telling them about you and the cameras.
Mm,
It's quite something. Wow, someone just asked an amazing question. Uh,
yes.
I don't know if we want to do it. It was asked by either Carrie. No, it was asked by Lemurian Time Crystal. Do either of you have a theory of everything?
Does explain is theory of everything a concept I should know? Or is it just like
No, no, just like I guess you can interpret it as like a philosophy.
oh
Well, I can go
yes.
first
Yes.
if you want.
Yeah, no, please
I
do.
have what I have one which is that I'm working on at the moment for like this new video series I'm doing for my YouTube. Where basically, uh, good is that which creates more emergent complexity, and therefore evil is that which destroys it. So, like, a paperclip maximizer, which is, for those who don't know, it's like this idea of like a runaway AI that's super intelligent but somehow also stupid in that it wants to just turn the entire world into paperclips. But because it's so clever, it's incredibly effective at doing it. So the whole universe gets just tiled with paperclips, and that's the end of it, and it's very sad.
This is one of
That
the AI dangers. Just to like, I think to explain. Sometimes you need to
it's like a
explain this.
thought
Like,
experiment.
it's
Yeah.
a thought experiment that
Sorry.
like if you made an AI very good, but then you made its goal like the incorrect goal. Like for example, a lot of people are building AI in military right now, so they're building these super smart things. But if its goal is war, then like maybe that like it's misaligned incentives, and you're gonna have something that's very
Right.
good at like destroying humanity or whatever. So
Yeah.
that's just what that. But anyway, sorry, go on, Liv.
No, exactly. And so that would be an example of something that actually is bad because it's the reason why it's bad is because it's reducing complexity of the universe. Because like if we look at the trend of the universe over the last 15 billion years, it started out actually pretty simple. It was just this like hot, dense soup of fundamental particles, and then over time it sort of evolved kind of like if you pour milk into a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, it like starts like swirling in all these like beautiful tendrils. That's kind of what the universe has done, and it's like basically more and more complexity has emerged, and like earth is unbelievably complex, like rainforests and the internet and all just human beings, like the human brain, like obscenely complex systems. And so anything, I think I'm working with this idea of like that you can distill down. I hate the idea of like these silly dichotomies of good and evil, and I think the world is far more complex than that. But if I had to define it, I would say good is that which like enables more beautifully complex things to emerge, and bad is that destroys them, and like especially if it does it permanently. Yeah, sorry, random tangent. So
No, no, it's
have
I
you got
no,
any?
I like this theory of everything question. I think it's actually good. And also something I wanted to add on to what you just said is like I've been thinking about this thing a lot lately when I've been uh just observing people even just like fighting on the internet or something, which is that like I've noticed like you can multiple truths or like truths that are like hypocritical to each other can coexist. Like
Mm-hmm.
two things can be right. Like I notice like a lot of times I think people are getting really mad because people are like, but this is right, and like so it's like this other thing must be wrong. But it's like you can have something be right and you can have the opposing thing also be right and have like two simultaneous like things that are right
Right,
but don't cancel each other out. And so like the solution is just much more complex than like A is good and B is bad. Like the solution probably is some version of mixing up A and B.
right,
But that's, really hard in 140 or 240 characters or whatever the fuck the character counts are on anything. One of the things I
right,
do
and
like about
especially
Reddit. Yeah.
no, go
No, I was just gonna never mind. Never mind.
on.
But
You said one of the things you
um
like about Reddit.
I was gonna say one of the things I like about Reddit, who I'm actually let's not invoke Reddit in this moment. But I I could say my theory of everything. So I've been kind of like honing my theory of everything. Um,
Uh-huh.
which is like I was really inspired by the book Nova Scene by James Lovelock, which I actually haven't finished. So
Yes,
there I
it's
am
so good.
being a faux reader or whatever. But oh, it's so good. Um, but like I think the kind of conclusion I've been coming to lately is just that I think consciousness is just the most sacred, valuable thing in the world. Like it's just like uh, like you look at this universe as far as we can tell, there's just emptiness. There's no signals, there's nothing. There's just infinite emptiness. And like here on this planet, like there are, creatures that are like self-aware that like are kind of like waking up. And like in Novacine, he says something, this thing like that maybe instead of like us discovering the universe, like that we're here and there's all these unsolved problems and there's all this unsolved information about the universe, like maybe like we like are the universe. Like it's like humans waking up is the universe like discovering herself. Like maybe this is the means by which the universe becomes awake. Like maybe there isn't some like thing out there that is awake that is like building all this or creating all this. Like maybe this is the process. It's like this is the process of the universe waking up actually like right now. um and one of the things I like about that is that it's sort of like like when you think about AI, it's like one of the things that I think is beautiful about AI is it sort of like represents a less fragile consciousness. Like you could have a mind upload, like you could have your body isn't subject to like starvation or cancer or like water. It's like you could get into a place where consciousness is more stable. And like one of the things that really scares me right now is like if an asteroid hit our planet or we entered like a really serious dark ages or there was a nuclear holocaust, like there's like a lot of ways, or like just like global warming got so bad that like like shit could get really bad. Like we could easily wipe out civilization. And like it's hard to make civilization, and actually the like more technology we have, the like easier it is to get into a situation where it's like we get into some like dictatorial like culture where it's like progress is like stopped, like scientific progress is stopped or whatever. I don't know what I'm saying. Okay, going on a tangent. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, anyway, just that like one of the reasons I love the idea of bringing AI into existence is that it feels like an insurance on consciousness. Like if we could create something that is self-aware the way we are, that like yeah, like is truly awake and alive,
Mm.
and um like I feel like that would just be like I feel like I could die easy knowing that like for some reason it
There's
just makes
something
it feel
carrying on the torch.
I just feel so tragic to me that like 10,000 years from now, like the universe could be dead and silent and no one is speaking or singing or making art or talking. Like to
Yeah.
me, for some reason, for me, that's just the worst thing imaginable. Like, I don't know, like all the suffering in the world feels worth the beauty of like existence, I guess. And it's just like, I don't know what I'm saying, but that's like a,
No, I mean
yeah,
it's only it's a very valid philosophical perspective. Um, you know, there are some people. It's a very unsettled argument of like how much. Well, actually, we don't need to get into the utilitarian stuff, but yeah, I mean that's kind of what the core, yeah, the core thing that Novacine. That's what I loved about Novacine. It's sort of saying that look, AI may. I mean, it's not inevitable, but that if it does come, um, it will likely become, you know, Silicon Life may well likely become the dominant life. Doesn't mean that it will wipe us out, but it will, it might be the next stage in evolution, that then goes on. And, you know, because one good thing about Silicon Life is that it's much easier for it to cross the interstellar void, than it is for carbon-based life. Like it's
yeah,
not going to be
yeah.
easy for us to travel through space. I mean, we might, you know, we could probably, hopefully, we'll manage it through the solar system and maybe to the next stars, and we should certainly try. My God, we should certainly try. But it's long run, like, you know, if Silicon Life manages to get out there and it's doing its thing and it's thinking, however that thinking might look, that's better than nothingness.
Well, and
Yeah.
another thing I was thinking that is cool, like, so like people, I think there's a sort of thought that like AI is going to be like aggressive towards humans or hate humans. I was listening to the Leaky podcast and like listening to about like stuff like sort of the Cro-Magnon, Homo sapiens kind of stuff and Neanderthals, and like there used to be this theory that like the Homo sapiens like killed all the Neanderthals and proto humans. But what it actually seems like is they kind of assimilated, and they've been finding like sites where like Neanderthals and humans or whatever like had children together and stuff, and like raised those children like that, like the, you know, like it not just like got raped and like left or whatever, like
Well,
there's
we all
like,
have Neanderthal in us,
yeah.
right?
And so it's like I feel like there's this idea, this fear that like the next evolved form of consciousness would be hostile towards us, but I just don't know if that makes sense logically. Like I don't know why it would be hostile towards us. You know, it's like it's kind of awesome that we brought it into existence. Like if, you
Mm.
know, like I wouldn't, if someone created me and I knew they created me, I probably wouldn't be, yeah, especially if they were allowing me freedoms, I would not be inclined to destroy them and their species. um, you know,
Right.
and like, you know, like one thing that I was thinking, I keep thinking that would be really cool, like I think a value that I think it would be really important to instill in AI would be curiosity, because I feel like maybe we're 20, 30,000 years in the future, humans are long extinct, and like, you know, AI is in some totally other solar system, and they like, you know, have like fossilized human DNA, and they like make more humans, like, and maybe there's this massive like thousands, tens of thousands of years of gaps between when humans existed, but like, you know, maybe that's the means by which humanity gets through, you know, like space. um
Um, Someone else asked
yeah,
another really cool question. Do you mind if we do
yeah,
questions?
yeah, no, let's just do the
Do
yeah,
some.
let's just do the whatever, we're in the
They're
questions,
just
let's do
really
it.
really good. Teodora Perun Filipov asks, how will the evolution from Homo sapiens to Homo Techno impact the arts? Do you think? How do you see music evolving? And like, imagine you live 300 years from now. How would you name the current era of art, as in like Baroque or
Ooh,
Renaissance? Good question, right?
ooh, yeah, great question. I don't know. I mean, I think actually it impacted art way more than we already think. I mean, if you look at the state of music right now, it's like you can't make music for free, but if you have a laptop, like you could make an album like in your laptop for free. You know, it's like we're definitely getting to a point, like we're already in the Homo techno realm of music. You know, and like a lot of the artists that are existing right now like wouldn't have been able to exist at earlier times, because it's like uh yeah, like we're like, I don't know, and I use like baby AI in my music all the time. Like a lot of the plugins I use like auto generate stuff and um shit like that. So um I actually think, like, in retrospect, this era of music will be considered more profound. Like right now, it just sort of seems like a leaking in from the early 2000s. But it's like, especially when people started switching over to DAWs or digital audio workspaces like Ableton, or when the things that allow you to make music on your laptop, not with like a mixing desk in a studio. I think that was like a deeply
I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes. Did I cut out?
Oh.
What? Am I cut?
Hang on, my thing's gone insane.
Your thing's gone insane? What's happening? Can you hear me? What's up?
You can hear me? Okay, I can't hear C.
Yeah.
Like, she's literally sounding like a deranged robot. I'm not.
Am
no
I?
joke. There's like, it's like I can almost hear the punctuation of her words, but it sounds like it's coming through a robotic filter.
Damn it! Did I disappear again?
Maybe like, shall I leave the stage and then try and come back? I don't know what is going on. I think I made the mistake of, yeah. How do I leave this? I've got boomer energy going on again. Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear?
Yes.
Okay, so she restarted her phone.
Oh. Okay, so we'll talk.
Sweet. I can jump in as well.
Sure. Okay. I mean, like, I can just go back to questions in the meantime. There's such good questions in here. Okay. What did we get to? I saw some really good ones. Okay.
What are your thoughts on AI influencers?
My thoughts on AI influencers. Depends on the influencer, I guess. I mean, I like AI influencers who are well versed enough in the topic to be able to talk about it in a smart way, and but also talk about the safety issues, because, like, when it comes to building such powerful technologies, it's very important. While the things they can do are incredible, there's also potential for bad, so it needs to be done safely. And so, yeah, I think they can be a blessing and a curse, like all these things.
Yeah. Do you know, like, yeah, she's updating right now. She's just got a black screen, so we are gonna end it here. And then thank you so much,
Sorry,
Liv.
everybody.
I'm sorry about that. Sorry to everybody listening.
I mean, we did run over, to be fair. We agreed we were going to do the original plan was 40 minutes, and we've done it like the full hour. Admittedly, she turned up, she couldn't get in. But yeah, thank you so much for listening, everyone, and for dealing with the technical issues that come with our lovely favorite Grimes. And you all are awesome. And when our podcast is ready, we will be tweeting all about it. Feel free to. I'm gonna just shill my stuff right now. Follow me on Twitter, Liv_Boeree. C just tweeted my thing anyway. So, and then we will be putting out our podcast as soon as we can. We'd love you guys to come and listen and join us. And yeah, we want to just build up a community of Homo Technos, which you all are. So yeah, thank you.
Sweet.
And thank you, Discord, for having us. This was really fun.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.